Thank you for joining us for Turn the Page with Paige, brought to you by Southwestern Illinois College. I'm your host, Paige Holsey. Being a parent is tough. Being a sibling, though, that can also be tough, especially when your parents bring home a new baby that totally rocks your world. In the children's book, Leo and the New Baby Challenge, big brother Leo experiences a lot of big feelings when his little brother comes home. And it's a story I think a lot of families can relate to. Mariel Brechner from St. Louis joins us here in studio. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Mariel is a co-author of this story, one that you created with your sister, a wonderful collaboration. So tell me more about why the two of you wanted to work together on this project.
Yeah, so my sister had her second baby in the height of COVID. And with her older child, I was able to go and help a little bit. She lives in Los Angeles. But with the second baby, there was a little bit of an adjustment challenge, as you mentioned earlier. And I decided at some point I was going to go find a book for her. But everything that was out there was really about how perfect it is to be an older brother or sister. And we talked and decided maybe things sometimes aren't so perfect, and maybe we can write a book to contribute to the non-perfect world.
Yeah, I think that I love that it's kind of honest in that way. I have two children myself, and there's almost like a sense of guilt that you feel when you have this second child and their whole world. I mean, they've been your everything. They've been the center of the universe. And so how would you expect them to go on living like everything's perfect? We all have to adjust. And so I love that your story acknowledges that, but it's really sweet too. So let's talk about what happens when Leo's family brings home that new baby.
Yeah, Leo totally doesn't think anything. He realizes something changes, but he really wants to continue with what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he wants to continue imagining and playing, but sometimes his parents don't always have the time for it, or they're a little bit busier. And so he has a little bit of an outburst, and luckily his grandpa is able to help share with him some wisdom, and his parents are also able to help acknowledge what happened. And later on, the story resolves with being able to come together again as a family.
I like the title of it. It's the New Baby Challenge. It's not bad. It's not all, roses either. It's just a challenge. Challenges can be good, right? There are lessons to learn in challenges. Of course, no story would be complete without the illustrations. And another great asset to this book is that you worked with a local illustrator. Tell me about Joseph Rollman and his style that you liked.
Yeah, so he's a friend of a friend, and we really liked his sort of comic book style, and that combination with sort of those real images that he was able to portray, but not too comic booky, but not too flat. And that's when we met, we knew it was an instant possible collaboration, and so it was really great working with him.
It all worked out. So you mentioned this whole book obviously inspired by your nephew. Are they old enough now to see it and take it in and kind of be like, hey, I inspired that? What do they think of it?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely by my nephew and by my kids, my own experience as well. We actually went to a book fair recently in Los Angeles, and we were able to see some of the kids come forward and read the book and experience kind of what we were hoping kids would experience. And my nephew was actually able to be at the book fair and was so cute. He was like, I was the inspiration for this book. So Isaac, great job there in doing that.
He probably feels almost a sense of pride and ownership, like this is his book too, in a way.
I think he does, yeah, I think he does.
Any other lessons that you hope families learn when they're reading this book? Because I think parents can grow from this too, and acknowledging the different feelings that their firstborns might have when another one comes along, or any feelings that you hope kids walk away having.
I think just the ability to give some words to those big feelings, and that it's okay to have big feelings and feel like things are changing. We can acknowledge it and continue to move forward.
Absolutely. As adults, I have big feelings. Why should we expect that kids wouldn't have big feelings too? I think acknowledging that is so important. Well, congratulations on your great story. I think that it's going to resonate with so many families. Before you go, can you share your recommendation for another children's book that you enjoy?
Yeah, Where the Wild Things Are.
Classic.
big inspiration for some of the illustrations as well. So
What is it about that book that you like?
it's that sense of imagination that comes alive on the pages. It just really opens your eyes to everything that you could possibly be thinking.
Yeah, and it certainly stood the test of time, too.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much again for joining us and for sharing the story behind your story. We're glad that you at home had a moment to tune in as well. We hope to see you next year for Turn the Page with Paige.